Hey everybody, it's Overkill here with the second part of my Warhammer collection series. So today we will be taking a look at the Empire. So as you can see, it's not a finished army, like most of them. They're in a bit of a state of disarray. Um, I originally did the army as Talabheim, I believe, with the white and the red. But then I decided I wanted to do Altdorf, so some of the models aren't even finished. These guys used to be swordsmen, but I gave them spears like a long time ago, and I just never painted them. But I did paint a few of them, so this is what they're supposed to look like now. Of course, there's not much light, but you can see like the blue and the red for Altdorf. So that's what they're supposed to look like. I did paint a couple of them, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, here's the entire army. So I do have this up on a makeshift stand so that I don't have to hold it and shake it all about. But here's the entire army. In terms of models, it is my second biggest army, I believe. Maybe my dwarfs are the same size, I'm not sure. But in terms of points, what the models are actually worth, it's not that big at all. Most of the points actually come from Mr. Big Shot right here, which we'll get to in a second. But state troops like these guys and these guys are cheap as hell. And, well, not cheap, not dollars-wise, I'll tell you that. It's like $40 for like 10 of these guys or something like that, Canadian. I don't know. But either way, let's get into the army. So let's just start out over here because the camera's closer to this. So over here, I'll start with him first. Sorry. We have a Empire General on a barded warhorse. Now, this guy could be a captain or a general. It doesn't really matter. So here's him. As you can see, this model is quite old. His basing material is falling off because the glue is destroyed. Like, look at that. It just flakes right off. That's how old that is. But you can see, yeah, on his warhorse. Nice. Would have been a nice model if I painted it now instead of like 4 years ago or whatever it was. But, yeah, there's him. He can be either a general or a captain. So you'll be dealing with these in Warhammer, or Total War Warhammer, rather. Here, I have a very small unit of Reiksguard Knights. This is actually smaller than the unit's allowed to be. It's supposed to be 5. But some of them weren't on their horses, or the horses were off their bases, or some stupid shit. Who knows? But this is just what they look like. So this is a Reiksguard Knight. You can see that he's off his horse. But yeah, you can see heavily armored. Look pretty cool. Look like shit because I painted them a long time ago. But yeah, I need to repaint these sometime to actually fit the new scheme. Because as you can see... Oh, no, screw you. As you can see from the scheme, they are Talabheim and not Altdorf, so the white and the red doesn't really make sense. But yeah, there's them. Then to one of my favorite units that I have are my Great Weapon Knights. These are supposed to be, in terms of rules, Knights of the White Wolf, but I guess that doesn't really even matter anymore because I don't think that's a unit in Age of Sigmar. But when Warhammer Fantasy was still a game, I loved these guys. Great Weapons on Horses was amazing. So basically what I did was, because Altdorf is pretty rich, because, well, that's where Karl Franz is, because, well, he's the new emperor, I just made them into great swords on horses, basically, where they're supposed to be, Knights of the White Wolf, they're supposed to be like crazy northern, you know, people with great hammers and stuff. But I decided to make them great swords, and it turned out really good. This is definitely one of my favorite units that I own, not even just for the Empire, just in general. It's one of my favorite units that I have. Because these were painted a couple of years, maybe, after the rest of the army. Jeez, I keep hitting the... Sorry about that. But yeah, these guys were painted maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years after the rest of the army, along with Karl Franz and the cannon that's over there, and these archers that we're going to get to in a little bit. But that's them. Really nice unit. So we're going to move forward a little bit, and again, here's the Spearmen that I was talking about. This isn't all of them, of course. There's a few off their bases, like always. Of course, being in storage, you don't really know what's going to happen to your models. But there's them. Again, I'll just take a quick look at one of them. Here's him. Just spears. They're supposed to have shields as well, but I couldn't be bothered to model those on, I guess, apparently. But what's cool about spears is, in Warhammer... well, in Fantasy, which isn't a game anymore, what used to be a game, units like this can attack. Like, let's say these two swords, or this unit of swordsmen is attacking these spears, or attacking these swordsmen. Now, if I have 2 ranks of swords versus 2 ranks of spears, they can attack each other. But if you take a 3rd rank of spearmen into the equation, those 3 can attack. Whereas if you have 3 swords, they can't. So basically, at the cost of being a weaker weapon, basically, because the swords and halberds that state troops can take are a lot better. You get extra attack, so if you're using a big unit of like 50 in 3 ranks, or whatever the math, you can get out a lot of attacks. So that's pretty much the only point why there's some spears, just to get some extra attacks, so that's them. Then we move on to the handgunners. It seems like I have an unhealthy obsession with guns in Warhammer, because one of my biggest Empire units is the handgunners, and one of my biggest my biggest dwarf units are their thunderers. Interesting, huh? But that's what they look like. Again, these models are old, so they don't look the greatest. They're not terrible. Like you can see, I actually have like face detail put on him, like everything's highlighted and stuff. But yeah, that's how that goes. So we'll move them out of the way. Then we have one of my newer units for the Empire, the Great Cannon. You can see that this actually looks good. Like the crewmen actually are painted pretty nicely. The cannon itself, I really like how it turned out. I thought the metals looked really nice, and the colors came out nice and crisp and very bright. It looks quite good. But there's the other 2 crew members. So of course, it won't be an army from the Empire without cannons and artillery, so you'll be sure to see plenty of these in Total War. So we get them out of the way as well. We'll shift the camera over. Actually, I could probably push them over. Okay, a little bit. Here's a big block of swordsmen. That's what they look like. Oh, apparently in the shadow. Let's bring them over here. That's what they look like. So you can see, like, these guys, I didn't even highlight them. That's how long ago they were painted. I didn't even do highlights back then. I'm obsessed with highlighting now to make stuff look better. But that's what they look like. I have, like, what? Like near 20 of them in that unit there. So get them out of the way. Oh, sorry. Hit the camera. Then we have another old unit. I won't even bother. Blah. We won't even bother ranking them up. But these are great swords on foot. Well, that's the only way you can get great swords. It's just, you know, I made my Knights of the White Wolf as great swords, which isn't right. But conversions are fun. But that's what they look like. For being the old Empire models, or like some of my old Empire models, they look good. They're just not based. As you can see, the bases were left white. And some of the colors look kind of weird. Like this guy looks... You probably can't really see it on the camera, but he looks a bit strange. The colors look kind of weird. But, oh well. And then my favorite... Oh, good lord, I keep hitting it. My favorite unit in the Empire are my archers. My... no, they're just Empire archers, rather. I love how these guys turn out, because I took a lot of time to actually make stuff look good on them. I actually based them and stuff. Wow, amazing. But yeah, I'll just show you a couple of them. So yeah, I like them. But anyway, let's get on to the final piece of the collection. And my favorite model, Karl Franz. Now, Karl Franz is the only model I own that actually has a special spot on my desk where where my computer is. I keep him up on a little shelf on my desk because this is my favorite model that I have, Karl Franz, the Emperor. So that's him on Deathclaw, obviously. And I took a full day to paint this guy. Oh, please don't look at the tiger half. That's a bit bad. I mean, like, look at those stripes. Don't really look great. It doesn't look as bad on... It actually looks worse in person than on camera, so if you think this looks bad, it looks worse, basically. Yeah. Everything else looks pretty good, though. I'm just not good at orange, because I didn't have a good orange paint when I painted this. I still don't, actually. And stripes are a bitch. So yeah, that's him. And there's Gal Maraz, the Warhammer. That Warhammer is named after, pretty much. But yeah, actually, I can actually take him off, because I don't have him glued on. And there is the legendary Karl Franz. God, the light isn't hitting him at all. There we go, that's a bit better. But yeah, there's him. So yeah, guys, that has been the Empire Army. That's everything I have for them. In terms of, like I said, in terms of numbers, pretty big army. But in terms of, like, actual value, it's not a lot. But what we're going to be looking at next is, let's see. I guess it would be the ogres, although there isn't much to show for them. Sadly, since they're such big models, in any form of transport, they got pretty beat up, as you can see. So I'll be showing you a pretty messed up army. I could have shown them in this video, honestly, because, well, like I said, they're pretty messed up. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a couple that aren't broken. But either way, we'll be showing those next because, in true Total War or Creative Assembly fashion, I'll be showing you vampire counts last. Ha 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 ha. No, it's pretty much just because. Also, if you're wondering what the hell this is, it's a ruler. Like a ruler stick. There's inches on it. Sorry, in case you thought it was something weird. But my vampire counts are my biggest army. Most models that I have. And also probably the best looking for the actual painted ones. So yeah, I'll be leaving them for last. So next episode we will be looking at the ogres. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.